would you create a blockchain solution, which is mostly creating trust ecosystems, I think, without a token currency, like operating that system?
If you would find a use case for a company to do it in a permissioned way and still have a useful blockchain solution, yes, internally it's possible. As long as you don't need adversarial mining, then it's fine. But the thing is, if you need that security, the proof of work, and I'm not talking about proof of stake in this because it's a different security model, but if you want proof of work, you need it. Because you need a way to incentivize, and that's why it came in. You need to incentivize people to keep mining, to add value to the ecosystem, and to bootstrap. Then you do need a token and you can't do it. But if you do it internally in a company or in a federation of companies, you don't want proof of work, because why the hell? It's much too expensive. You're burning energy like hell, and the security model doesn't really warrant it. Then you could arguably have a blockchain without tokens. But you need but you need something to transact. That is still necessary.
Yeah.
But externally, publicly, I don't see how, because you need a way to keep people honest, and the way blockchains do that is putting money at stake.
Yeah.
In any way. Like proof of stake, you put it up as collateral. In proof of work, you put it in order to get more out.
Yeah. So it's you would say the token bit is more just for incentives, like that's why you need this currency.
That's part of it, definitely. It's a big part of it.
Money has, of course, at least three characteristics: store of value, unit of account, and means of exchange. So to transfer value, and we're mixing that up now in the discussion a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, the difference is currency is a very loaded word, because currency has a very clear definition. And Bitcoin, at least according to me, is not a currency, and it doesn't need to be. The thing that it does, what a Bitcoin does, or a Satoshi does, it is a wheelbarrow for a digital wheelbarrow for value. If I put something value in, so let's say I put $1,000 in, and I send it immediately to you, and you sell it for 1,000. It's a wheelbarrow for that 1,000 in value. I can use it in that way. It doesn't have intrinsically that value. Bitcoin, and people have pointed this out, is in that sense like fiat, because it has value by acclaim, by popular acclaim. Which is something different as arbitrary value, because it doesn't mean it has value with no reason. It has value because it has utility, a definite utility. But it's not a currency.
So what is the difference exactly then between a currency and, because I thought a currency is a store of value that you exchange?
I think a currency is a way you can use it as. It's a functional currency. Let's put it that way. It's not. Currency has a. We as humans have a way of making things, concepts, and making them so real that we think it can be only this. So a Bitcoin is a currency, therefore it is a coin. There's a coin in the name, for God's sake. It must be a currency. It doesn't. It's a convenient label. But in order to innovate, you need to be able to pull it off again and see it for what it is. It is a system that can push tokens around and store that trail. It can attach values, arbitrary values, also data values to that token, so you can store that data or store information about that data. If you don't do that, it will only be a failed currency experiment. That's what Bitcoin Cash is trying to make it. It's a failed experiment, it can't grow, it can't scale. No, because bloody hell, it's not meant to do it. Not anymore. It might have started out like that, but who cares about the white paper on that level? Technology evolves, and we found much more to do with this whole ecosystem. So if you put currency as a label on it, I think you're doing it a disservice. It's too small.
You could, for the same reason, you could say it's your virtual identity.
Yeah.
So if you would see a Bitcoin, which isn't a coin, as a public-private key pair that you control, you have. So you keep your private key, then your public key is your virtual identity. So then suddenly the currency becomes a virtual identity. You know, it has so many faces.
And there are no coins on the system. It's UTXOs. It's unspent output. So it's just an encumbrance to your account number, which you have the right to spend. It's not. If you could start calling it currency or coins, people start thinking about the cash equivalent, something you can hoard, and that's what people do. We create the world in our head.